Imagine being born into a world where your life doesn't belong to you. Not to your parents. Not even to yourself. Imagine a world where gods demanded children, not as symbols, not as stories, but as payment. History books rarely linger here. Museums soften the language. But across ancient civilizations, children were offered to the gods, burned, buried, drowned, or bled, because adults believed the survival of their world depended on it. Tonight, we're uncovering the disturbing truth about children used as religious offerings in ancient cultures, and why so many records tried to erase it. To understand this horror, you have to understand fear. Ancient societies lived at the mercy of nature. Droughts, plagues, earthquakes, famine. When crops failed or rivers dried up, people didn't blame chance. They blamed angry gods. And when gods were angry, they demanded something precious. Nothing was considered more powerful, more pure, or more valuable than a child's life. Children symbolized innocent potential, the future itself. So offering a child wasn't seen as cruelty. It was seen as the ultimate act of devotion. The ancient Canaanites and Phoenicians had a notorious god named Moloch. Moloch was believed to control prosperity and protection, but his favor came at a terrifying cost. Ancient texts describe a massive bronze statue, hollow inside, heated from below until it glowed red-hot. Children, sometimes infants, were placed into its arms. Drums were beaten loudly to drown out their screams. Archaeologists have found tophets, burial sites packed with urns holding the ashes of children. Not animals, not adults, just kids. For centuries, historians argued whether this was propaganda written by enemies, but the bones don't lie. Carthage, a powerful Mediterranean empire, took child sacrifice even further. When war threatened or defeat loomed, elites didn't spare their own families. Historical records suggest noble-born children were sometimes preferred because the gods deserved the best. Some parents reportedly replaced their children with slaves to avoid the sacrifice. If discovered, the punishment was death. This wasn't secret worship. It was public, systematic, and accepted. Religion wasn't personal belief, was national survival. In Mesoamerica, the Aztecs believed the universe itself required blood to continue existing. Without sacrifice, the sun would stop rising. Most people know about adult sacrifices, but fewer know about the children. Children were offered to Tlaloc, the god of rain. Why children? Because their tears were believed to summon rainfall. The more they cried, the more rain the gods would send. Children were paraded up mountains, knowing exactly what was coming. If a child didn't cry, priests sometimes inflicted pain to force tears. Their deaths were seen not as tragedy, but as necessary weather control. The Inca had this fascinating ritual called Kapakuka, where they honored their gods. Children chosen were often considered perfect, beautiful, healthy, and noble-born. They were treated like royalty for months, given gifts, dressed in fine clothes, paraded through cities. Then they were taken to mountain peaks, some over 20,000 feet high. There, they were buried alive, left to freeze, or struck on the head. Modern archaeologists have found these children preserved in ice faces, peaceful, as if asleep. They believed these children became divine messengers, a horrifying honor. In early dynastic Egypt, powerful rulers were buried with servants, and sometimes children. The belief was simple. If the ruler needed servants in the afterlife, they had to be sent ahead. Some children were buried alive or killed during royal funerals. Later dynasties replaced humans with statues. But the practice reveals how expendable young lives once were in the name of eternity. Why don't we learn this stuff in school? Honestly, it's just uncomfortable. It challenges the idea of ancient civilizations as wise and enlightened. It forces us to admit that religion, when driven by fear, can justify anything. And because many modern cultures trace their roots to these civilizations, it's easier to talk about temples than tombs. Architecture instead of ashes. These children didn't die in secret. They died in front of crowds. Under prayers, their lives were traded for rain, for victory, for forgiveness from gods that never spoke back. And while the rituals ended, the lesson remains. When belief becomes more important than humanity, the innocent always pay first.